Summary of the issues of the consultation meeting: options, solutions, and impacts caused by the COVID-19 situation in the topic. Guidelines for the recovery of the Thai sports industry after COVID-19. Thursday, June 24, 2021 at 09:30, 12:00 o'clock via online meeting system Zoom video conference. On Thursday, June 24, 2021, the Senate Sports Committee by the Subcommittee on Professional Sports and the Sports Industry participated in the observation of the meeting to listen to opinions, options, solutions, and impacts caused by the COVID-19 situation under the topic Rehabilitation Guidelines Thai Sports Industry after COVID-19 through the online meeting system Zoom video conference. With representatives from government agencies, the private sector and academics participated in the seminar. Mr. Sakri Supavariakul, Subcommittee of Professional Sports and Sports Industry, as President of World Institute of Sports Development and Organization Management, Wisdom, discussed the importance of the Institute of Sports Management for sports organizations as follows. 1. The aim to support the professional sports industry in a non-profit format. 2. The missions. 1. To act as a volunteer or a consultant various related to sports management in the form of non-profit. 2. Organize seminars to educate. 3. Conduct research that responds to society. 3. Topics of interest are 1. Sport policy. 2. Sport industry. 3. Sport law. 4. Sport tourism. 4. Target groups are sports associations, provincial sports associations across the country, the Ministry of Tourism and Sports Province that wants to be a sports city province, business organizations that need consultants, boxing camps, private academies, organizers, athletes, educational institutions, and other organizations. 5. Future sources of funding include public and private organizations, including the National Sports Development Fund. 6. Future member network. 1. Group of 11 founding members. 2. Sports management experts. 3. International experts in sports management. 4. Individuals who become a role model in sports. 2. Then listen to the opinions of the seminar attendees on the issue of tourism revitalization, sports and recreation, both the viewpoint of the government related to the promotion of the tourism industry, sports and recreation, including the private sector and entrepreneurs involved in the area, in summary on various issues as follows. Issue 1. The situation of the epidemic of COVID-19 has affected. How does it affect the situation of sports tourism in Thailand? 1. Considering the overall picture of the group of sports tourists who have been affected by the situation, the COVID-19 epidemic in which the private sector is affected can be categorized into 6 subgroups. 1. The audience of sports, unable to travel to watch sporting events as usual. As a result, there is no sponsor in sporting events. 2. Sports players, restricted in the number of sports or unable to play sports normally. 3. Sports learners, limited number of sports activities or sports school venues were closed. 4. Sports event organizers, 95% of whom were unable to organize sports events as usual. Affect the income of entrepreneurs, especially small business operators, small that may lose huge losses and have to close down. 5. Visitor groups, considered as the group that received the least. 6. Sporting goods trade group. This affects the decrease in revenue of the business. 2. Unable to organize sporting events as planned as usual. 3. Sports industry operators must bear business expenses and employee salaries, even though the income has decreased. Issue 2. Opportunities or problems and obstacles caused by the epidemic situation. How is the COVID-19 virus? 1. Opportunities found when caused by the epidemic situation of the COVID-19 infectious disease, such as the private sector. 1. People are becoming more conscious of their health and exercise. Cause exit activities increased. 2. Cooperation between the sports industry and the tourism industry in order to bring sports to promote tourism. 3. 2 Problems and obstacles arising from the epidemic situation of the coronavirus disease COVID-19 is the government sector. 1. Different countries' lockdown policies are different. Is an obstacle in organizing activities. Sports, international private. 2. Access to the working capital of the business sector to support the sports industry. Small businesses are still not covered. Issue 3. Do you have a solution or a solution for the business or activities? In the situation of the epidemic of COVID-19, how? Government. 1. The government should determine the conditions in the Phuket Sandbox project to prevent epidemic of coronavirus disease 2019, such as having to have 2 injections of COVID vaccination, and must have test results. Coronavirus 2019 will be able to travel to Phuket, etc. There will be an evaluation for the effectiveness of the project implementation throughout the project period to be able to be used as a model sports tourism of the province. 2. The project road sports in Phuket area to be a model for promotion the public interest to exercise more. 3. The Ministry of Tourism and Sports in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Sports Association prepared a guide to the competition under the situation to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in order to provide sporting events under the epidemic control. 4. The government studies the measures used in outdoor sports activities in foreign countries in order to be a model for organizing sports activities in Thailand. Those wishing to participate in the activity must pass the COVID-19 vaccination or have a test result for the coronavirus 2019 within 7 days. Those who wish to participate in the activity must pay the expenses themselves, etc. The private sector. 1. Organizing activities promote online exercise. 2. Setting conditions for participating in sports activities, such as foreigners who will travel to participate in activities must have proof of COVID-19 vaccination, etc. 3. Modify the form of sporting events to stay in a well-ventilated area. 4. Issue 4. Plan to revitalize the tourism and sports industry after the epidemic. How should the COVID-19 infectious disease be? Government. 1. Integrating tourism and sports together by bringing sports activities to attract tourists, such as organizing tourism programs and doing health activities. 2. Should plan various operations between government agencies, the private sector and entrepreneurs. Sports industry and integrated manner together. 3. The government should be involved in the restoration industry, tourism, and sports. Especially more support measures for participating in sports activities, such as supporting the cost of testing for coronavirus 2019, creating a reliable application to check the results of such testing to create confidence in controlling the spread of infectious diseases to the people who are interested in attending the event. 4. The Ministry of Tourism and Sports has collaborated with the Department of Health and the Department of Disease Control, Ministry of Public Health to plan a system for organizing sports events under the Ministry of Health. Situation: coronavirus disease 2019 epidemic in order to be able to hold sporting events continuously and safe from contracting the virus. Promotion of 5. The government should speed up the vaccination against COVID-19 for people to control the situation. Epidemic of coronavirus disease 2019. 6. Focus on creating a trend of exercise and sports to promote health and prevent disease so that people are more interested in participating in sports activities. 7. Able to plan to rehabilitate the industry. Sports activities are divided into 3 phases. Short term, which is the last 4 months of the year 2021. Medium term for the next 18 months, and long term as shown in the draft plan. The 13th National Economic and Social Development Plan addresses the issue of sport tourism, which defines 4 mechanisms for rehabilitation, prevention, remedy, development and rehabilitation. Through cooperation between the public and private sectors. To be a model to drive the industry further, both short-term, medium-term and long-term, especially the continuation of government support.